We are going live now. We are live. Gentlemen, welcome. And thank you so much for making it right on time. At least I can see we don't have the count of Zambian time here. But yeah, we have lots to talk about. All things being equal, it should be an hour long. So the first 30 minutes, I'm suggesting, depending on how you feel, both of you, that we tackle the Zambian situation, and then the last we can tackle the Premier League.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
How is that?
Maybe we can start with for the Zambia reaction. We can start with how the game played out yesterday. How the game played out yesterday.
Yes. So I'm saying, my suggestion. I'm suggesting that how much time do you want us
the way forward
to put to Zambia? That's the question.
We can do in 30-40 minutes is okay, since we're doing an hour. Because the Premier League, it's mainly fixtures.
Yes, so 30. Yeah, so 40 minutes. You want to talk about Zambia? I want to vent.
No, even 30 minutes is okay. Okay, let's go as when we reach 30 minutes, then we'll see if we have more to talk about concerning Zambia. Then we will. But if we can move on from that, because sometimes fin to fimo.
You know, we don't have to say much. Anyway, that being said, Zambia is out with 2 points. Your immediate reaction before we go to the actual game that was played yesterday, Charlie. Are you getting me? Hello?
I think he's muted.
Is it my network or your network?
Because I can hear you. I can't hear Charlie. Maybe he's muted.
But I can't hear you.
How's
Charlie,
your mic? How's your volume?
I couldn't find my headset, so I'm just the phone.
Okay, right. Yeah, so okay. Maybe that's why the Zambia national team can't perform well, because of things like this. But anyway, but let's start with you, since Charlie is still having issues with the network. Your immediate reaction overall as how we've performed at the campaign before we talk about Morocco.
We looked like we didn't belong there. Throughout the tournament, we looked like we didn't belong there. First game, we flattered to deceive. That draw was by the grace of God. There is a damning reading, a damning start in this campaign. We have had only 2 shots on target in 3 games. That's how many minutes of football? 270 minutes of football. We have had 2 shots on target, and that was in the first game only. Because against Comoros, we had 10 shots, none were on target. Against Morocco, we might have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 attempts. I'm not so sure. But that just shows how bad we have been. I haven't gone through all the stats, but that alone is enough to make you realize where this team is. We looked unprepared. We looked nervous. We looked unsure of ourselves. We didn't have a plan in any of the games, or maybe the plan was not to have a plan. I don't know. Everything was just wrong. Going into this AFCON, the decisions that were made were a prelude to the disaster that we have seen. You look at the appointment of Moses Sichone just a few weeks before the AFCON tournament. What do you expect him to achieve? I believe he was set up for failure for me, that would be my analysis of the situation. He was set up for failure, though he had been assistant coach for quite a long time. I don't think he is of the ilk or the substance to take this team anywhere. He barely has any experience at international level, apart from being an assistant, of course. We can talk about Hervé Renard. He was also in similar standing. But that aside, the appointment of Fashion Sakala as captain just before the tournament, ousting out Luambo Msonda, who was our captain for like 5 years, for no apparent reason. We are not given any reason as to why Fashion was being given the armband, because he hasn't shown any any ounce of leadership. We saw that time he got red cards, he would be crying all over the pitch. We saw how divisive he was when he claimed that other players only score tap-ins, and then you expect the same players that he dissed to give him the respect that he is their captain. He's been one of the most divisive players in the changing room in the past 3-4 years since he's been in the team. He has flattered to deceive in the national team jersey. He has scored 10 goals, yes, but he hasn't really been up to it when it comes to national team games. You look at the organization around the national team, the lack of payments, the players weren't paid their allowances. You look at the upheaval, the officials visiting the boys every time, the intervention of administrators in matters of in matters of the team. Everything was just everything was just being an ingredient to the disaster that we have seen. I remember I just sent you a message, the one that we were talking about, I think 2 or 3 months before the AFCON, when I told you if we get anything from this AFCON, we will praise God. If we even get a point, we'll have to praise God. You see, it was very, very bad. Very, very bad. I think that's what I'll leave it to Charlie to post his views now.
We've been joined by Chiawa. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And please make sure that when we are done discussing, gentlemen, let's be sharing the link and inviting as many people. This is a people's show. It's not for experts, it's for a people's show. Charlie, Mark, as you were out, did bring out a very damning statistic, which makes me feel very embarrassed to even be associated with Zambia, as it were. How could we play 3 games and only master 2 shots on target? Does that, for me, that sums up the campaign perfectly for Zambia. What do you make of the campaign overall?
All right. I just need confirmation. Is my mic audible now?
The campaign.
Yes.
No, all right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. All right. If we have to collectively exhaust all the embarrassing stats that Zambia is having now, I think we wouldn't even make it halfway through this show, because none of us is proud at the moment. If the appalling atrocities that we witnessed yesterday, I don't even know how many positives that we can pick up. But having 3 games and then only register 2 shots on target, of which okay, probably I'm even out of words. I don't even know how to explain this one, because arguably that's why my conclusion at the end of the day to say arguably this is the worst Zambian side that has been ever assembled. Like, at the end of the day, it's like those guys just went for a vacation in Morocco. Even the games that we have watched, there is a lack of chemistry. The team is so uncoordinated. It's like, it is that instant where out of the blue, they say, can we assemble a team that can represent the nation? Like it happened in a friendly sometime in the UK when they just assembled some students that came together. And because you're Zambian, oh, are you Mwamba? Are you Mwamba? Are you Zambian? Okay, yes, you can play for the team. That is how embarrassing our situation was yesterday. The only positive that I picked up was that we made some substitutions.
So you pick a positive.
Yeah, we made some
No, they were
substitutions. Positive, yes, it is a positive.
Wow.
Because what we did yesterday are the things that we should have done in the Mali game and the Comoros game. Now, it's like you want to do the right thing when it is a little too late. That's where the challenge is. So for Zambia, I really don't have much to say, because at the end of the day, what we have displayed is an embarrassment to the nation. It is an embarrassment to the footballing culture that we have had. I do not know what to say. It's like we are back to the usual Zambia that we know. Now we have gone 13 games without a win on the big stage. So at the end of the day, this explains everything that is happening in our nation in terms of football. And I mentioned on the previous show that even just our local league is speaking on its own to say there is a lot that we need to do. And as soon as those people jet down, they need to sit down together with the Football Association to ensure that they work things out. And I love how people have been served a humble pie. Had it been Kamanga at the helm of Football Association, not getting into the politics of Zambian football, but just mentioning, a lot of people have been silent. I haven't seen a lot of articles.
Yeah.
I haven't seen people speaking up, because it's like they didn't have a problem with Zambian football. They had a problem with an individual. Now people are tied up. They couldn't speak because all the time they were speaking, they weren't speaking from a logical point of view, but they were attacking a certain personality within the football fraternity. So at the end of the day, there is a lot that we need to learn as Zambians, beginning from administration, beginning from the writers that we have, and also the selection, the food. I think we just need a complete overhaul of the system. And to the new first president, I think now we have preached unity for quite some time, but let the unity be coupled with good football. I think that's my submission.
Wow. It's difficult really to speak about or to talk about this campaign without getting ourselves involved in the politics of the Zambian football. Because look, like you rightly put it, it's why yesterday Mark did push me. Let's have it. But I don't think I was going to hold myself on certain things, because for some of us, this is beyond watching a team. This cuts deep to the very soul of our being as Zambians. This is everything to us. And seeing that atrocity, that criminal performance, and to wrap it up, you couldn't even master a shot on target against a Lori Comoros. With all the respect, there was a lot of Kamanga out, a lot of campaigns, a lot of things. It was Kamanga this, Kamanga that, and some of the decisions that the current phase has made, and I'm saying this without holding back, have been vindictive. You are trying to make a decision to say, oh, it's like it's a personal vendetta, and now look at where it has taken us. What was the reasoning in firing Grant to begin with? Why strip Rubambomson that the captains like Mark did mention, and give it to Fashion Sakala, a player whom is on record, public record, to have been a divisive figure in the dressing room, and you give him the armband, a player who has failed to show up for the national team. Fashion hasn't put in a performance for the national team since the under 2017. He's never shown up for the national team. So what was the logical, the reason? Come on. We are talking about Look, when we talk about the captain of the
But he
Zambia national
scored the
soccer
hat-trick.
team, look, when we talk about a leader, okay, anybody can score a hat-trick on their day. Anybody can. Right? Are we
Okay,
going to say we
like I
can
said,
give person data?
like
Are
I
we going
said,
to say we
what
can?
was the reason? What was the
Yes,
reason that convinced them that he can be a captain?
exactly.
What was the reason? Because he was out of the squad for a reason.
Mhm.
He was out of
Yeah,
the squad because he dissed his coaches, he dissed Kamanga, he also dissed his own teammates. Remember, he said some of these players that they keep posting on Faz only score tap ins. And I'm sure that was directed at a certain striker that I won't mention. But we have these kind of comments made by him, and even before the
Yes.
elections of the new Faz administration, he went live, made damning, scathing allegations, and so on. And we rewarded divisiveness.
Mm,
That's what we rewarded. So we shouldn't be shocked when we are seeing what we are seeing on the field. So
exactly.
let's go. Maybe I think his internet is a bit. He can't.
Yeah,
He can't.
glitchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's frozen.
Mm.
When we talk about the team, the performance yesterday, we were doing a preview here. We talked about Kabasuchongo and
Yeah.
his inclusion in the team. It obviously didn't work out because he was subbed at halftime.
You know.
Um, he was subbed at halftime. What was the tactical reasoning behind all of that? Okay, why do we have two panels of you now? Isn't this being selfish?
Oh, you have two of me.
Yes.
I had logged out late. I had some network challenges, so you can continue talking. I'll figure it out. I'll sort it out.
Is Charlie still here?
Yes, he is. Please go on.
Okay. So we were talking about Kawaso Chongo and his inclusion in the team and the tactical decisions that were made by Coach Moses yesterday. The post-match analysis by Patson Daka was more than damning, of course. He
What did
mentioned
he
why
say?
he struggled. He struggled against two Moroccan defenders who were on him the whole game. They were only playing long balls towards him, which he said he couldn't deal with because the distance, even if he could hold up the ball, the distance between him and the next player who could offer support was just too much because we were sitting too deep, and that gave Morocco enough space to harm us and score the goals that they needed. We played into their hands. And this is a player who is saying this. And the coach, after the match, only complained about the refereeing
The
decisions
referee.
that were made and said the players were nervous. He didn't talk about anything to do with tactics, how he approached the game, and all of that. What do we make
Did we
of
look
these
like a
comments
team
that
that
were
has
made?
been coached actually? Because to me, that team, I don't know about you guys, but to me, that team didn't look like a team that has been on the training pitch. Later on, a team
No.
that is being coached. It didn't look like it is actually being coached. I don't know. You mentioned that Chone looks like it was set up for failure, but I mean, set up for failure or not, but there's nothing that I
Yes,
can point at
no,
and say
he
he coached
was
the team.
in saying that he was set up for failure. It's like you are taking a boy and you are putting him in a wrestling match against John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
That is you setting someone up for failure. This person is not qualified for where you are putting them. They might have a degree, they might have something, that a paper, whatever paper that he has for coaching, but we haven't seen that translate. We haven't seen that translate. And even in this tournament, I know he's only been in charge for how many games? Is it 2 or 3 games
Three.
now
But he's
officially?
been there. That was the other argument that he's been around for
He
quite
has
some time.
been there for quite some time. They will keep talking about the Kosafa. They'll keep talking about all of this. Who took us to the Kosafa when we lost all the games?
It's him.
Was it him or
It's John. It's
it's
John.
John? We went and lost all the
Wasn't it
games.
him, son?
I'm not sure.
It's him.
It should be him, because who was supposed to, it was Wada who was supposed to take us to Chan, and Wada opted out. I think, I don't know, he left during the Kosafa, I think.
Yeah, it's Sichuan who took us.
Somehow. So it just hasn't been good. It just hasn't been good. We can blame whoever, but the blame is even with the players, I would say. The players were also set up for failure. They were not given proper instructions for, like Charlie said, against Mali, who is a possession heavy side. What do you decide to do? You are not pressing, you're not doing anything. How are you going to get the ball off of them? How are you going to attack? It is only in the dying minutes that we saw two crosses that resulted in one goal. I think Patson missed one and he scored the other. That was in the 90th or so minute. That's when we started doing that. Against Comoros, the players just started shooting anyhow. It's not like that was the plan. First half, we didn't do anything. Second half, we saw Luvambo start taking shots outside of the box. And that was frustration, because you could see the players around him, they were also puzzled. Oh, why is he shooting from outside of the box? That was frustration. We go against Morocco, who you know are going to be pressing you from the start. They are going to be chasing you all over the park. And what do? You remove. I thought when he's bringing in Kawaso, Benson would be shifted into the midfield. That's what we thought last night. What turned out? It was a back three. He went to a back three, and you are going to be under pressure the whole game. That was you saying, we are going to be under pressure the whole game. And then instead of, at least with a back three, at least you play a front two, since you are taking away from the midfield, so that at least you can play long balls into your two strikers who are able to put it down. If you look at teams that play a back three, you talk about Inter Milan, they'll have someone who is like, they have Thuram and Lautaro, who they play long balls to. If you saw what they did against Barcelona, they would beat Barcelona's press by doing long balls. So that is one way of beating a press. Now there's only Patson in front. How are you going to beat the press? We had no idea. Benson, for the first time in this tournament, Benson looked like he didn't want to be on the pitch because he was playing an unfamiliar role. Kawaso Chongo was a failed project because he was subbed. Second half, he was subbed. And then they took off Dictator for whatever reason. We saw the influence. We saw the influence of Amasenya. Like all the changes that we wanted for the Comoros game came in the game that we didn't need them.
So, Mark, where do we go from here, Charlie? We've seen how pouring and pathetic, and we can go. I'm telling you, we can take the whole day talking about how bad that team and everything has been, because we've been so bad, like very bad. In my living memory, the short memory time I've been alive, I think this is the worst Africa Cup.
This is the worst AFCON that I've ever seen from Zambia.
AFCON campaign we've ever been. Not even that one where we lost 5-1 to Cameroon. If you the one in 2008, that one, you could see there was.
I think we drew against Egypt that time. Eh? We drew against Egypt.
Yeah, we did.
I think we beat someone. I don't know.
We beat someone. We finished with 4 points because Cameroon beat us.
We beat Tunisia.
Yeah, Tunisia. Yeah. Because Cameroon beat us, and then I think the winner of that group was on 7 points, and then the other was on 6, and then we had 4 points.
Yeah,
that's how it was. And 2010 we were good. 2012, you know the story. But these guys, this was the worst. So Charlie, where do we go from here? Please don't tell me the drawing board, because it is full, and let's give the drawing board the space to breathe.
I was rushing to the drawing board because that's the simplest justification that we can come up with. But
Yeah.
now the drawing board is also tired. We are tired of mentioning the drawing board. But
Yeah.
uh, the biggest task that we can give to the Football Association is to work on our league, number one. Because as football is evolving, you can tell that there's a difference between being tactically prepared and tactical execution on the pitch. And I think this was what was lacking with our team. You could see some changes are being made, but we cannot tell how effective is a change that has been made. So let us work on our league. Let us also work on football knowledge, because we cannot rely on the fact that we have strength as Africans. That is our natural disposition, because we can run around, we can do all that, but look at how football has evolved. You find that people are not that versatile in terms of strength accumulation. They do not have all the muscles as the likes of Adama Traore. They are as small as Cole Palmer, but at the end of the day, it's their football knowledge that brings out the difference. So for us, it's like we have dwelt so much on our natural strength, which is not helpful at the moment, because we also need the football knowledge. We need the know-how. We need the right tactics, the right skills that are going to show that there is a difference between being schooled into football and just taking on football because you like it. Most of us have played football in our growing up setups, but that does not make us footballers. That does not give us the knowledge that we need in order to execute the tactics that come with football. So there is a lot that we need to do with Zambia. And I think after winning the 2012 Africa Cup, it's like our expectations have been heightened. Now that our expectations have been heightened, then we have been taken back to the Zambia of the 2000, 2002, 2004, where we just visit the Africa Cup and come back. We visit and come back. But now it's like now we have getting even into a west side of Zambia. It's like we have no idea what we are doing at all. Yesterday when I watched the game, I was like, okay, the changes have been made. Then where have we gotten it wrong? Nothing was making sense tactically. Nothing was making sense football-wise. That's why even in one of my comments, I said, when we say Moses Sichone ran out of ideas, that would be an overstatement, because it means that he at least had an idea or two. But that guy was clueless. No idea at all, not even a bad idea, because if a bad idea may give you something effective, but it's like I'm going to borrow the words of Mark. It's like this guy was okay, Mark was too was too professional when he used the term he was being set up for failure. But truthfully, Moses was being set up for failure in every sense that you would understand. And I think he has been used as a scapegoat. Because if you take out a coach with a caliber of Avram Grant, he needs to be replaced by a coach who has a track record of making teams win. When you're taking a team to a tournament such as the Africa Cup, and you know how big that stage is, we do not need a novice. We need somebody who is going to produce the desired results. And unfortunately for Zambia, we brought in a novice and the results have showed. And
okay,
it's about time that...
Can I ask a question, Charlie?
Yes, sir.
Why was Sichone given the job?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
Is it that we are broke? Because I know last AFCON they were paying Grant $25,000, and that was the lowest of any coach that was at AFCON. That was the lowest. So for us to improve on Grant, it means that we have to pay more. So is it
Yes.
that we
So
are
why
broke?
did we then fire Grant again? Adding to that,
Mhm.
if we were broke, why did we fire
We
Grant?
know there
So
was
first
politics
answer,
involved. Government withheld
yes.
funds to pay Grant. So the only way that
Uh-huh.
FAS could come out of that situation without being sued and taken to court again, because remember there was Aliosa, that Aliosa battle that we had at FIFA,
I saw on the
that would
call.
have spelled issues again.
Mm.
So they had to find a loophole. I think this is my theory. This is not
Mm.
my theory is FAS went to government and say withhold funds so that we have a reason to tell Grant to leave, because Grant wasn't
To
going to
leave.
agree to leave without being
Mm.
paid. So somehow they came up with a mutual agreement to say, okay, we're going to pay you this much so that we relieve you of the
We let
contract,
you go.
and everyone goes on happy. We saw the interference from the Minister of Sports and his
Mm.
comments about the national team, which were inflammatory at best. I don't think
Mm.
he should have said what he had said, and he could have been more professional in how he approached the players and even also the FAS president. Remember when the players refused to play at some point?
Yeah.
Even in
Yeah.
South Africa, some players refused to play, i.e., is
Exactly.
it Lamek Banda who refused to
Mm.
play there? So we have had these issues underlying the appointment of Citron. So is Sichone the best there was? I told you that no local coach has ever taken the Chipolopolo out of the group stages. I think
Mm.
since maybe the 1990s or
Yeah.
1994, going up, we haven't had a proper coach who is a local coach take us out. We have had the legendary Bamufchile Patrick Piri who did well with the under 20, the Clifford Mulenga under 20. They did well. Went to the national team. Of course, we beat South Africa, that famous 3-0. Apart from that, there is not much you can point to as success from Patrick Piri. You have Janza, who is maybe the most educated coach that we have, didn't work out. So why Sichon? I think we're even running out of time. we
Um,
need to go into the Premier League fixtures.
all right. Just to cap it up
No,
on this the coach issue. Uh-huh.
Hello?
Yes. I believe Musuku has muted
Okay.
himself. So just to cap it up on the coaching issue that we've had, I think even when we look at the local variety that we have, if we have to be footballically logical on the selection of a coach, I think Moses Sichone wasn't our best option. No, he wasn't our best option in terms of experience on the big stage. And at the end of the day, having fired Grant, still they had to pay a lot of money just to settle whatever difference was there. And I feel probably the people in charge should have waited until we handle the AFCON, because I feel bringing in Moses at a time where the AFCON was nearing, for me, he hasn't proved to be very effective in that area. When we talk about selection, when you talk about how he has treated some players, how he has been outspoken, all those things seem not to be working for Moses. And he was simply used as a scapegoat as a scapegoat that we can use to justify our failure, probably with a tag of saying inexperienced coach. But obviously, I think next time we have to do a good job. And I think the interference of the ministry as well did not help, because at the end of the day, they seemed way too biased in the way that they handled the situation. It's like it it was showing on which side they are on. So for the coach side, I think that was one of our biggest mistakes. If you remember the first time I appeared on this show, I even mentioned that the firing of Avram Grant was ill-timed, and these are the
True.
fruits that we have we have picked up. So maybe as a nation, all in all, we need to work on emotionally driven, because when the new football administration came in, it's like they had the backing of the ministry. They wanted to do things their own way and all those things. And these are some of the ripple effects that we have seen today. Sure.
Yeah. I've heard a few comments, especially on social media, talking about talent. No, Zambia doesn't have talent, and so on. I think the problem isn't necessarily about talent, because in the squad right now we have players like Hamasenia, who is at the Leganes right now. We have players like Things Kangwa, who is one of the best midfielders in the Israeli league. We have upcoming talent like Liteta, who is doing so well for Cagliari. He has broken into the first team. That's not a mean feat. And we also have the under 17, which is coming up. We know of Jonathan Kalimina, the captain. He did so well at the World Cup. We saw Stambala, the goalkeeper. He was top notch. We saw Billy Daka, we saw Abo Nyirongo, there's Mapalo Simute, and all these guys that are coming up. The problem we have is developing talent. Like, players tend to store. If you remember, we had Mangani Banda, we had Solomon Sakala. Where are all those guys? They are still stuck at Zanaco, they are still stuck at Zesco. There's no development. The same thing we can say about players like Kabaso. Kabaso has been at the same level for a long time. And this is the only material that we have. So if we are able to develop these players, we can have a future. So I don't know what you think about the talent that is in the squad right now.
You know, that's very true. I think we are lacking the strategy of continuity. I'll take England national team as an example. You will understand that the likes of Jude Bellingham, Cole Palmer, who's this guy at Nottingham Forest?
Musiala.
Musiala, though he's playing for Germany now. But you'll find that this is a cohort that England have sustained for quite some time, because they are preparing them for the future. And this is what we lack here in Zambia. You have mentioned of the under-20 team that won the Africa Cup in 2017. It's like we've lost that cohort. I don't know if it was disbanded. You know, talk of Mayembe. I do not know where Mayembe is. Prosper Chiluya.
Moses Nyoni. Where are they?
Exactly. So I think yes. This is what we are lacking as a nation. We do not know how to harness and nurture the talent that we have to ensure that we groom them for a specific season, for a specific phase in our footballing generation. I think that's where we've lost it all in.
We're still depending on Sunzu in 2025, because we have failed to raise a Sunzu since 2012 up to now. We have failed to find a replacement for Sunzu.
Exactly. Which shouldn't
It is only now that we are having a left back who is competent in Hamasenya since Bola and Joseph Msonda. There's if you look at England, you gave an example of England. Right now, you find players like Madueke in the under 20s, under 23s. You find players like Gittens. You find players like Harvey Elliott. All these players are playing for big clubs, but they're in the under 21s, under 23s. That is progression. They can't break into the squad, but they are still in the under 21s, under. That's how stacked. If you just look at France. And France had a terrible 2010 World Cup, if you all remember. From that time, they took a different approach to football. They stacked the academies. Right now, every big team has a French player in it. Even on Africa, when we had a good under 20 side, we had the likes of Mayuka, Clifford Mulenga. All these guys went on to do good things and were the backbone of the 2012 winning squad. Chris Katongo was in the under 23s, Renford Calabar. That progression that Kalusha oversaw and came into the 2012 team. And we can talk ad infinitum over the issues concerning the Zambia national team. Can't be exhausted.
Yeah, we can't exhaust that. Anyway, Charlie, let's move to the Premier League fixtures. I don't know if you are ready to run us through with the fixtures, and then we can discuss the big one tonight.
Sure, we're ready.
All right. Mark, you can run us through the fixtures that we have. I was trying to prepare them, but it's like power has cut.
So we have
speed is off.
We have West Ham. West Ham United hosting Brighton and Hove Albion. And we have Chelsea hosting Bournemouth. We also have the Sean Dyche Derby, Nottingham Forest versus Everton. The other one is Aston Villa, of course, visiting the Emirates. Have I forgotten any team here?
No.
Oh, Newcastle versus Burnley.
Manchester United versus Manchester United versus Wolves.
Burnley is at home anyway.
Yeah. So the big fixture. The Arsenal versus Aston Villa. For me.
Okay.
You want to start? You can start.
No, you can go ahead.
Oh. For me, it's a crucial encounter. Obviously, Villa missing two key players in Kamara, Boubacar Kamara, and Matty Cash, right back, whom I feel will be a huge miss. They only have Alex Garcia there to play, and I don't think he's featured in any game this season so far. But that being said, he's a capable right back. Boubacar Kamara's suspension, yes, he will be missed, but Amadou Onana there is well equipped to step in and just do something for them. Rogers is on form, and we saw what Kings could do. And like you gave that damning analysis of Patson Daka's interview after the game. The Watkins one was rather interesting after the Chelsea game. He spoke highly of Emery, and he said, he's a genius. He knows what to do. He knew when he summoned me to get into the game, he told me exactly what I needed to do, and he told the guys what they needed to do. And I think we saw Sancho play his best football. You watch the game, man. You can attest that Sancho, he was on song in that game, and they managed to come from behind, and they've won more points coming from behind. 18 points.
Yeah.
So far, they're the highest this season, and this is a team that is scoring in each and every game they are playing. They battered Arsenal last time out at home 2-1. And Arsenal have scored, is it 6 goals in their last games, and 4 are on goals. Yes, of course, there's this old cliche where we say the mark of a good team is winning. However you win, you're a good team, you have to win. But if you're not scoring goals, and in that period, the player who scored most goals for them is Mikel Merino. But they bought Goikarez who can't seem to score. Obviously, they have Saka who has scored, is it a goal only? I think in the last 6 games. So they are struggling for goals. Of course, the coming back of Gabriel for them is a huge boost in the defensive force. But they are they are playing important Gunners. And Emery knows the Emirates Stadium. Of course, the personnel might have changed, but he knows the environment. And so he will be speaking to his players from a point of understanding what the Emirates is like. And they don't need any motivation, if you ask me. They know what this win will do for them. And like I said last time, for me, I'm backing them too. They're actually showing me they can do it. They have what it takes. I'm saying this because they also have capable players. I don't know how long is Bandia back or is still out.
Not so sure.
Not so sure. Yeah, but I ought to say that for me, this is a huge game, a huge test. I would say for me, it's more of a test for Arsenal than it is for Villa, because Villa are coming from they are on 11 games unbeaten, and you don't win 11 games on a spin by chance. No, there's no luck in that. You win because you are good enough and you can go all the way. So I'm really backing them. If there's a team feeling the pressure now, is Arsenal, because Man City is also breathing down heavily on their neck. And I think Arsenal questions will begin to be asked amongst themselves to say they are a near finished team. They can't get things over the line. And for the past 2 seasons or 3, they've finished second. So the names will begin to creaking based on how they've fared. So it is they are feeling pressure in every sense because of the history, because of where they are, and Mikel has been there for 6 years. So it's going to be a high pressure game more for them than it is for Villa, and that gives me confidence that Villa will get away with something. I don't see anything than a draw for them if they play badly. That's Villa, but an Arsenal win will be a huge surprise to me, but also a huge statement.
Okay, interesting. Arsenal are winless against Villa in their last 3. Villa hasn't lost at the Emirates in their last 2. They drew 2-2 and won 2-0 last time they visited there. So it's a very tight fixture, especially given the run of form that Villa is on. Their scoring form as well. Arsenal have lost a bit of invincibility at the back, though the return of Gabriel will be a big boost for them. It's going to be a tight game. But I concur with what Musuko has said. Villa definitely walk away with something from this game. It suits them. Arsenal will have to enforce and impose themselves on this game if they're to get anything. That will open up spaces at the back, and Villa are very clinical, especially in the second half, as we have seen. So I would even say a 2-1 Villa win is on the cards here.
Agreed.
All right.
A first win at the Emirates because they're unbeaten, eh?
Yeah.
For the big match that we have over the weekend, as you've already put it, Arsenal, Aston Villa. I think there's sometimes a certain ambience or atmosphere that consumes players, especially if it relates to a level of momentum. Going 11 wins in a row will just give you a different level of confidence at the end of the day. And what they have broken is a record that had stood at Villa for 111 years. They haven't had such wins in a row. So you see the level of confidence that the Villa players have. Not only when it comes to the momentum, but also with the type of football that they are playing. Villa is winning from a place of conviction, a place where they are playing good football. It is well and this is a problem that I've had with Arsenal. If we look at their immediate previous games, their wins haven't been convincing. They struggled against
even against Wolves.
Even against Wolves. It had to take some awkward handball in the Everton game. I don't know what McBride guy was thinking to handle the ball in such a manner in the box.
Everton could have had a penalty as well.
Exactly. It took some own goal against Brighton. So you see, they haven't been convincing. And the difference with other teams, you see, I know there are a lot of expressions that we have in football. Sometimes we say attack wins you games, but defense wins you the championship. I have coined my own, which I say it is the depth of the team that wins you championship. Now look at Arsenal. They don't have that particular depth. If some players are not playing, you can tell that there are some players missing. And this is a problem that cuts across. Exactly.
On buying midfielders.
So my conclusion is that Arsenal, their Arsenal does not have enough depth. It doesn't have sufficient, that will make you win at the end of the day. I think their Arsenal needs to be reloaded with ammunition that will take them all the way through. Because as at now, for me, Arsenal, I'm not speaking from the rivalry that we have with them as a Hotspur fan. I fancy them winning the Champions, the league, but their depth is not convincing. Their depth is not convincing. I think that would be my conclusion. So for this match, I see Aston Villa winning because they are a well-coached team. They have a decent squad, but they are doing a lot with the little that they have. Unlike certain teams that I won't mention names here.
It's okay. Good evening. Mark, if in case you are being surprised by the use of words by this man, is your fellow poet as well. Charlie, Mark is a poet, by the way. So you could share notes you too. I'll send his channel, the link to his channel over after this.
Sure.
Even as a channel, man is serious.
Please.
Yeah, anything else you'd
like
we
us move on?
Yeah, we can move on.
Sure. Next fixture, maybe we can look at is Chelsea Bono.
Oh, well, Chelsea Bournemouth, the wheels have come off, but also they demonstrated last time at Old Trafford what they can do when faced with a bigger team and a bigger challenge. But also, this is a Chelsea team that is consistently inconsistent, especially when they are facing teams like Bournemouth, teams that are suffering. We saw them beating or drawing 1-0 after making sure Arsenal sweat for a point at the bridge, and then they went on and lost 3-1 to Leeds. So this game, for me, I'll maintain my position on which I said last weekend when we were viewing last weekend's fixtures, to say I don't think Chelsea will finish in the top 4, top 5. I don't think they will play Champions League. You see, Chelsea have good players, but they do not have quality players. There are very few, if any. Maybe Cole Palmer is the only quality player we could talk of. You have Garnacho. What's quality about him? Like, what's that quality that he brings to the team that you can say, wow, he's good, yes. And so is Neto. And we've seen how pathetic he's been in the last few games. Lethargic all over the place. You have Gittens, you have Dilap, you have Pedro, João Pedro. Those players can't win you.
Dilap has more yellow cards than goals.
Yeah. You see? So I think Chelsea are not a team that can compete. And I think this is more down, not to the manager for me. I put it down to the people who have been doing the recruitment. Because how are you providing the players that you are getting into the club? You are getting everything that looks good to into the club, but there's no quality there. I don't think there are quite a number of players there that can get into a top 4 Premier League squad, i.e. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, or even Villa. You had Sancho who struggled to nail down a place at Aston Villa. That should, and you have a player who could not perform at Manchester United. You are calling upon him to push you to get into the top 4. So I really don't think Chelsea has what it takes. Same for Caicedo and Cole Palmer. I think the rest of the team, they are quite good players. And Reece James, maybe a honorable mention to James, Cole Palmer, and Caicedo. Those are 3 quality players we can speak of Chelsea. But the rest are just average good players that are not good enough to sustain a push for Champions League football. So this game can go either way. Bad as Bournemouth has been, but this is Chelsea they are playing, so it's difficult to predict. But anything can happen. Yeah. Those are my thoughts really on Chelsea Bournemouth.
Charlie.
All right. Chelsea, Bournemouth. All right. One thing I can agree with the pre-current speaker, Suku, is that Chelsea acquired a lot of players which they basically had no use for. Because Chelsea has created a tendency of hijacking signings by other teams. I don't know if it gives them some level of pride. So at the end of the day, they end up hijacking and signing players that they do not need, because that has been their tradition. This has been their tendency previously. So for me, I feel they have a good number of players, but at the end of the day, they are not helping the team play as a unit. They are in no way helping advance the tactical knowledge of the coach on the field. And this is why they have experienced a number of inconsistent results that have been displayed in a number of their games previously. So if we look at Bournemouth also, the problem that they've had is that they had a good season last year, and they sold nearly all their performing players. So it's like they're in some sort of rebuilding phase.
I think Semenyo is leaving.
Yeah, even Semenyo is leaving. So anyway, this is typical of small teams. It's like they groom players for the bigger teams to come and fish. So at the end of the day, I feel it will be a 50-50 game. And for me, my thought is that this game might just end up in a draw, if not Bournemouth winning.
Wow. A Chelsea fan, what do you say, Mark, as a Chelsea fan?
Oh.
So Bournemouth has been pretty bad. I think they are winless in their last 8. Chelsea, I think, have like 2 wins in their last 8 as well. Especially at Stamford Bridge, they tend to struggle. Cucurella is out. Who else is out? I think there's another one who is out. So it's going to be a tough game. I expect it to be a go fest. Seeing that Bournemouth are pretty bad away from home, and Chelsea are pretty bad at home. But it's a must win for Maresca, just to ease the pressure that is on him right now, and arrest the inconsistency that has been in the squad. Kopama is available. Esteval is also available. Looking forward to seeing the two of them start. I think for the first time, I think since Manchester United away at Old Trafford. I'll go for a Chelsea 3-2 win.
Wow. All the best, man, all the best. I think as we wind up, we might as well talk about a team that is likely to replace Chelsea tonight. In fifth, is it fifth position or sixth position? Yeah, and that is Manchester United. They are playing Lorry Wolves at Old Trafford, having surprised a lot of us and Newcastle, and hang on to a 1-0 victory, a first clean sheet in as many games. How do you see this one going? I won't say much because I think this is a game I'll be watching with my eyes closed, knowing that a Chelsea defeat puts us above Chelsea.
Wolves fascinatingly have the longest winning streak and also one of the longest losing streaks in 2025.
Yeah.
No, you can take it up, Charlie.
All right. For Manchester United, I think as at now we have been used to their level of inconsistency. It's like they are lucky the guts to just fire the coach at the end of the day. Because for me, I don't think the coach has done something remarkable as to why they should continually watch him like deteriorate the culture of Manchester United that we have always known. The money is there. The acquiring of players is there. But I haven't seen any improvements all in all. Because at the end of the day, it does not speak well of a team playing 6 games, drawing 3, losing 2, and winning 1. I don't think it's doing them any favor. You know, there are some coaches where you can say but you can tell that the managing of the team at least is building up to something. Unfortunately for United, I don't see them building up to something tangible. So really, you may not even know if they're going to win the next game, they're going to draw, they're going to lose. It's like it's totally unknown. You cannot foresee anything that comes with Manchester United. So, but anyway, if they are playing against Wolves, I fancy them to win because they have a mature squad. They have players that can take them all the way through. But at the end of the day, we don't know. Maybe Wolves may pull up a surprise. But at the end of the day, I fancy Manchester United to win. However, they are far from impressive. They are far from impressive. Far from it. Miles away.
Agreed. Yeah. Mark, as we wind up, your thoughts.
Wolves are bad.
On your cousins.
Are very, very bad. Oh, they are in I think one of the worst teams in the Premier League ever. They are still on 2 points. Is it 2 points? I believe.
Yeah, 2 points.
So it's been a
2 points.
struggle. Even though they fired their manager, there's not even been a manager bounce. There's just been a manager. So Man United, although they are that inconsistent, I don't believe they can fail to beat Wolves. I think the last fixture they won against Wolves was 3-4. Despite Bruno being out, I expect a win here. 2-0 Manchester United win. Very good.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time. I think we should be back probably, hopefully, after the New Year's. Tomorrow is Eve, so we'll let you celebrate. And Thursday is also New Year's. Please go and eat your chicken. Probably we'll be back on Friday. We'll agree, and then we'll be able to let our viewers know when we are back. But until then, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. And we wish for more growth for this, our show, come 2026. We'll continue to talk about the Africa Cup and the Premier League and other leagues as they resume. But yeah, it's been a pleasure talking about the AFCON despite Zambia breaking our hearts. What's been your biggest sporting moment of the year? Maybe we can do that. Charlie, off the cuff. What's been your highest point of 2025 sports and lowest? Europa. Oh, why did I ask that? I shouldn't have.
Yeah, Mark got that one right, so I don't have to say it. I mean,
wow. Okay.
Sure.
And then your lowest has to be Zambia, definitely.
Exactly.
Yes, Mike.
Yeah, for me it has to be the Club World Cup final, of course. Very charged game, playing against the best team in Europe. Put up one heck of a result. That was awesome.
I think,
for me, my lowest moment isn't the Chipolo Polo. It's actually the Copper Queens losing 5-0 to Nigeria. That was very bad. I expected a whole lot more.
Wow. Nice here. For me, since both my teams didn't do well, country and club, so my highest point was calling the Chelsea PSG result. I remember that night I was down, I don't know if it's down or up Northwestern Province. And prior to the game, I was telling the people I was with to say, look, this is a Chelsea game. Chelsea is going to beat PSG. And they're like, are you crazy? Chelsea can't beat PSG because anyway, anyone would be thought to be crazy. But well, I did. I took time. I think for the first time, I really did take time to understand the tactics of Maresca, what he was trying to do, and how he could actually. That gave him an upper hand over PSG, and seeing that come to life was like a year moment for me. The lowest, I think we're just appalling at the AFCON. I don't think there's anything close to Zambia being that bad, and also losing to Spurs of all teams in the Europa final. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's all for me. And also, yeah, that would be all for me. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know if any of you follows Formula One before we go.
No, not actively.
He doesn't. Not actively. Okay.
I
was going to say that.
As for me, you already know. I'm another follower of two things: football and basketball.
Yeah, I know.
I just got into basketball like late this year.
I
know.
What we should do actually is Charlie should be giving us updates for basketball going into the next year. and I can be bringing Formula One. Mark, you can find something to bring that is not football, so that we diversify.
Zambian football, the first Premier League.
Oh yeah, the first Premier League. So you can be bringing us the.
Sure.
By the way, Charlie supports Magnificent People's team. Warrior Kake, aliye mlandu, Njanji ni Njanji. Kamwe Warriors.
Very inconsistent team.
Very inconsistent. Ask him what team he supports, Charlie. Ask back what team he supports. You will hear if it's consistent.
Please tell us, sir.
The most decorated club in Zambian football history. Mighty Mfulira Wanderers.
No, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for hopping on board. We'll continue to improve the ideas, and there's something that I'm working on to share with you all once I'm done, and we'll keep improving. Otherwise, that being said, thank you so much for everyone who's taken time to watch. Let's continue subscribing, sharing, and everything. We are keeping on getting better. And at some point, we are going to bring a high-profile guest. Mark is working on it. He wants to bring for us one of the players who played at the Africa Cup of Nations. So we are not small teams.
No, sir.
Yeah. So enjoy your days, guys, and see you next year.
All right. Thank you. Peace out.